Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AI Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with the next part. What if Naruto was betrayed and trained seriously with Jiraiya? Well, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed the first part of this series. So, yeah, guys, without wasting any more of your time, let's start this video. But before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys. If you guys are new to this channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please, guys, do so. It will really help me a lot. So, without wasting any more of your time, let us start this video. Last time we left off as we saw that how this time not only Sasuke left but as well as Sakura as she wanted to gain some power as well as acknowledgement, especially the love of her Sasuke-kun. Sakura was pretty obsessed with Sasuke. Actually, in the main series, if you guys don't remember, as she even offered to go with Sasuke. Well, that is beside the point at the moment, as you can say Sakura this time went with Sasuke as Jiraiya took Naruto on the training trip, seeing that how depressed he actually was. So he decided to pop the balloon in which Naruto was actually living in an illusion type world. So Jiraiya finally explained the reality of the world, what is actually going on here, as Naruto tried to push the idea that how Sasuke has goodness in his heart and he will try his best to bring his best friend back. But Jiraiya put the facts on the face of Naruto as Naruto could not deny them. And same were the facts of Sakura as how horrible of a girl she actually was to Naruto, especially as Naruto was not able to give not even a single reason why he actually loved her to begin with. As Jiraiya told Naruto that he is free to try to save his friends from darkness, but if they were to fall into that, then he has to do what has to be done. And telling him that how third Hokage as well as Jiraiya himself regretted the day when he let Orochimaru go, as he killed off, experimented on, and ruined several lives, thousands of lives. And that is only because he was way too weak, and you do not want Naruto to fall under the same, you can say, sadness and depression, just like him, as well as, you can say, Tsunade as well as third Hokage, as Naruto finally came to realization, but still he was more than determined to save his friends. But if push come to shove, he will do what has to be done for the world. And on the other hand, when Jiraiya explained his training regime about chakra control, the Rasengan size, as well as, you can say, Taijutsu, as well as Kyuubi's chakra, Naruto plainly, you can say, put the plan on the face of Jiraiya, telling him that he do not want this regiment. He wants to be at least as strong or even stronger than Kakashi when he return back, and is not going to do these stupid missions as well as this stupid, you can say, exercise. As Jiraiya was hurt a little, but still he finally came to realization that Naruto is ready for a serious training. So he finally decided to, you can say, train Naruto seriously, even with the help of a shadow clone. And finally Naruto's training began. So that was the last part. So let us start our video as Naruto was huffing and puffing, standing in the center of the 9 waterfalls that were, you can say, coming down, as Naruto in this time was trying his best to cut off all the 9 waterfalls at the same time, but still it was way too hard compared to cutting off a single waterfall, as Naruto was huffing and puffing all over as he almost got knocked out as Jiraiya landed beside him. Well, kid, it seems that you have overdone yourself. I told you it will not be that easy to cut off all the 9 waterfalls at the same time, as Naruto said, just you wait. You puppy sage, I will do it. Jiraiya laughed. Well, of course, kid. As he put a hand on Naruto's shoulder and sent him into the, you can say, hotel room, as Naruto got knocked out after that, as Jiraiya sighed, well, this kid is definitely pushing himself. Definitely an Uzumaki, if I were to say. As he put Naruto into the bed and went off to do his research, as Naruto in this time was trying to think of anything how he can cut all the 9 waterfalls at the same time. He can cut off a single one. Hell, he can even cut off 2 waterfalls at the same time. But there was something telling him that he was going wrong somewhere, as he had to do something about it. As these were the dreams of Naruto, how to cut off these waterfalls and how to make his own techniques in the wind style, so he can become even strong. As he sighed at that, and next day training once again began, as this time Naruto had more determination in his eyes. As Jiraiya looked towards Naruto, as he said, alright kid, I'll be going to do some research, so you can do your training. As Naruto cursed under his, you can say, breath, damn puppy sage, as Jiraiya went off, as Naruto was now tired, as he slammed his face into the ground, cracking it a little. Damn it, I do not understand. As, is this really impossible to cut off all the 9 waterfalls at the same time? No, I have to do it. If I had water affinity, it would be easy. No. As he thought for some time, I have wind affinity. Wind is said to be one of the strongest. It is because it is everywhere. Where am I even going wrong? As he, you can say, closes his eyes and try to focus his chakra. But then suddenly something strange happens. As he started to focus his chakra as if his whole body was enveloped into the wind chakra, as he could command the wind itself. As his eyes, you can say, opened at a sudden pace, as his eyes widened, as he said, well, it could actually work. According to the book I was reading about the ninjutsu and all, as he slammed his hand together, as he started to build, you can say, wind chakra, as he said, chakra is a mean to connect the nature itself, and if I can control my chakra, I can mold it to the nature. And since wind is everywhere, it should be more than easy enough. As he slammed his hand together and started to focus all around, he could feel the, you can say, wind. As a matter of fact, before doing this type of exercise, he was forcing the chakra to do something, as well as, you can say, converting chakra into wind itself, as well as commanding it. But now he's trying something different, trying to connect his chakra with the nature, with the wind itself, as he could feel the command over the wind now. As it's, you can say, snap, his eyes opened, and then suddenly all the 9 waterfalls cut at the same time, not completely cut off, but still they were stopped for a moment, and then suddenly, you can say, splash, as all the waterfalls started to continue, as Naruto started to huff a little, as he looked around the place. Yes, definitely. As he once again started to try even further. I wonder if no one even thought about this, as he closes his eyes once again and started to gather all, you can say, chakra all over his body and started to command the wind itself. And now, after some time, let us cut back to Jiraiya. As Jiraiya was doing his research, as Jiraiya said, it seems that the kid is pushing himself. I told him it is not possible to cut off all the 9 waterfalls at the same time. That such type of chakra power is not possible. As he started to walk towards the area, and just imagine, almost the poor guy heart stopped for a moment. The sight he was looking at, all the 9 waterfalls stop, and, you can say, cut off. As Jiraiya's eyes widened, and standing in the center was Naruto with a single ram's hand sign in his hand. As he looked towards Jiraiya with a smirk on his face, as Jiraiya said, he done it? But how? As he looked around the area and wondering, how did Naruto even do that? It is not possible. And what is going on here? As he landed in front of Naruto. Naruto, how did you even do that? I'll be honest with you, I never thought you will be able to do it, kid. Congratulations, as Naruto smirked at that as he released the hand seal, and then all the water started to, you can say, slam into the ground. As Jiraiya said, well, kid, that is some serious wind chakra control you actually have. As Naruto laughed at that, as Jiraiya said, so, mind telling me, how did that actually happen? As Naruto said, well, I could tell you, but before, some ramen. As Jiraiya laughed and said, of course, kid, my treat, and so he's going to regret it. As Naruto ate. Now, cut back to ramen stat, as Naruto ate 50th ball of his, as Jiraiya was crying anime tears at the sideline. As Naruto said, now that definitely hit the spot. Well, Jiraiya sensei, thanks for the meal. As after saying that, he simply started to walk away. As Jiraiya said, hey kid, where are you going? You're not going to tell me how you even did that, huh? As Naruto laughed, well, not here, let's go. As both Jiraiya as well as Naruto went off, as then Naruto arrived into the same place. As Jiraiya said, so tell me, kid, how did you even do that? Or what's the trick? Just tell me already. As Naruto laughed, as he looked towards Jiraiya for some time, as he said, well, Jiraiya sensei, I was wondering about something. As Jiraiya raised an eyebrow at that, as Naruto put out a small book from his hand, as he gave it to Jiraiya, as Jiraiya said, well, this book, well, I did say about you to read this. This is about chakra theories and different type of philosophies and different type of things. Well, I never understood it. So, what is it, kid? As Naruto said, well, I was, you can say, reading this book. I don't know who you can say, made it in the first place, but it is definitely some old book. And thanks to your, you can say, forceful reading, I read something about chakra and the theory that chakra actually connects us with the nature itself. As Jiraiya's eyes widened for a moment. After all, that was the sage mode. When you connect with the nature, as Naruto said, well, I thought about something. Since my nature is purely wind, and you told me that how wild of a nature of wind I actually have. So I started to put, you can say, mainly wind chakra all over my body and try to connect with the wind all over the place. Since chakra is everywhere, even in the wind, my chakra started to feel it and started to command it. It was way too easy than producing, you can say, wind with my own chakra. I was able to command it and cut off all the waterfalls at the same time. It was no difficult whatsoever. So I was wondering, Jay Sensei, why no one even thought about it? If it is that easy, then with your chakra you can even command fire, water all over the area, rather than making, you can say, fire with your own chakra, making earth with your own chakra. As Jiraiya looked towards Naruto for some time, as he thought, it seemed that somehow Naruto started to connect the nature, just like a sage. But how could this even be? I have not even thought about giving Naruto sage training. Could it be that Naruto somehow has connected with the nature? Or could it be some type of Kekkei? As he shook his head, as he said, well, Naruto, that is definitely saying something. Well, let us test this theory of yours. If you can connect with the wind itself, then you can definitely make several dangerous techniques itself, Naruto. It is something I can tell you that either you are starting to connect with the nature or it could be a Kekkei, though the later I doubt it, but still. We have to do something about it. Alright, let us start this training of yours since you have already cut off 9 waterfalls, which is even further advanced chakra control exercise. Let us develop some jutsus. As he smirked at that, as Naruto grinned at that, he was waiting for this time. Now it's about time that he started to create his own name. If Kakashi has copied over 1000 jutsu, then Naruto will make thousands of jutsus with his own, and he will make sure that no one, not even Kakashi Sensei, will be able to copy his jutsu with his Sharingan. As Jiraiya smiled at Naruto, now let us cut back to 1 month as Naruto was huffing and puffing as Jiraiya has once again beaten Naruto to the ground. But this time Jiraiya started to have a bit of difficulty. Unconsciously, Naruto started to put wind chakra over his fist as well as all over his body as a defensive measure. As Jiraiya was surprised when he tried to hit Naruto in the gut and his hand almost cut off as there were several small, you can say, wind blades which cut his hand. As Jiraiya was pretty surprised as he looked towards Naruto as he said, "Hey Naruto, how did you do that?" As Naruto smirked at that, "Well, I was developing a jutsu. Since you like to beat me around so much, I thought that about a defensive jutsu. Since wind is everywhere, I protected a barrier also like Gara, and it can protect me and cut off many enemies, but it is mainly good at taijutsu. Jiraiya grinned at that. Well kid, you're definitely improving, but if you try to do that, then your taijutsu will definitely lag, so don't use it at the moment. As Naruto simply nodded at that, though it could be great against some other enemies, as once again they started to fight off against each other. As Jiraiya said, so kid, how is your jutsu actually going? As Naruto simply nodded at that. 1 month ago, timescape, you can say flashback, Jiraiya has told Naruto about his mother, Kushina Uzumaki, as Naruto was in utter shock. Flashback, as Jiraiya looked towards Naruto. Naruto, you have been developing at an astonishing rate. I never thought that you had this much potential. I knew that you had the potential to become a great shinobi, but you are definitely becoming a strong one on that. And your wind affinity, your father, as well as your mom and dad did not have this much power in your age. As Naruto's eyes widened. Wait a minute, Jiraiya sensei, you know about my parents? Jiraiya looked towards Naruto as he simply nodded at that. As Naruto's eyes widened, he felt hurt, betrayed. Why? Why he did not tell him before? As he was about to shoot, but Jiraiya put a hand towards Naruto. Naruto, first of all, I know about your parents, and yeah, that is right, and I was in a good relation with them. So, I want to tell you about really something important. And it was said that by your father as well as your parents to not tell you about their identity. As Naruto raised an eyebrow at that, could it be that his parents were really high people, or it could be that there were criminals? As he looked towards Jiraiya, could there be some criminals, Jiraiya sensei? Jiraiya simply shook his head. Not actually, Naruto. On the contrary, both of them were actually heroes to begin with for Konoha. So right now I'm only going to tell you about your mother, not about your father. As Naruto wanted to you can say protest at that, but Jiraiya told him that how if he were to develop some, as he said that he's going to develop thousands of techniques. So when Naruto developed 10 jutsus of his own, and Jiraiya will see fit about Naruto's, you can say, mental strength, then he will tell him about his father. Right now, he's only going to tell him about his mother. As Naruto grunted at that, as Jiraiya also told him that according to the will of both of his parents, he is only allowed to be tell when he became a chunin or he became at least 18 years old. As Naruto was pretty angry about it. What were his parents actually thinking, telling him when he was 18 years old, ready to get his own family? As he scoffed at that, as Jiraiya said, alright Naruto, your mother, as Naruto's, you can say, ear picked up at that as Naruto was listening intently. It has been 1 year since Naruto's training actually began and he has developed pretty well. As Jiraiya said, well, your mother's name was Kushina Uzumaki. As Naruto's eyes widened, Kushina Uzumaki. So this was the name of his mother? He always wanted to know about his parents, about his mom and dad. As Naruto said, do you have any picture of her? As Jiraiya simply nodded at that as he pulled out a small picture, making sure that Minato was not in that picture. As Naruto picked up the picture, looking towards Kushina, as he said, she's beautiful. As Jiraiya simply agreed with that and said, well, Naruto, she was one of the strongest Konoichis I have ever met. As a matter of fact, I dare to say that she was second to only Tsunade in the whole elemental nations. As well as she came from a prestigious clan known by the name of Uzumaki clans. As Naruto looked towards Jiraiya, Uzumaki clan, I thought it was a civilian family. Jiraiya sighed, well, not actually Naruto. Uzumaki clan originally formed, you can say, the Whirlpool village, also known as the Uzushiogakure, as they are mainly, you can say, specialized in the seals, as well as they have strong, you can say, life form, even stronger than, you can say, senjus, as well as they have large chakra reserves. Since you are an Uzumaki as well, only half Uzumaki from Kushina's side, you have also large chakra reserves. Did you honestly thought that you were chosen just randomly by 4th Hokage, not actually Naruto? Since there is only an Uzumaki in the whole world can contain someone as strong as the Nine Tails. Since you are the son of Kushina Uzumaki and you are an Uzumaki, that was the main reason 4th could only seal Nine Tails into you. If you were to seal into any other container or any other child, the seal would have been broken in minutes. Because of your special chakra as well as strong life force, you were chosen by the 4th. As Naruto had to agree with that since there were no Uzumakis around. And why is that? As he looked to Jiraiya, as he said, alright Jiraiya sensei, first of all you have to tell me what happened to the Uzumakis and why the hell we were not informed in the academy. I have read about so many clans. If this Uzumaki clan, as you say, were allies to Konoha, why didn't we ever read about it? As Jiraiya cursed under his breath about the civilian council member keeping this information away from Naruto, try to, you can say, undermine him, thinking that how he came from nowhere and he had no clan to begin with. As Jiraiya said, Sai, alright kid, sit down. Now, first of all, I will have to explain, Uzumakis are not actually any clan. They are actually the cousin clan to the Senju. As Jiraiya could feel the anger rising inside of Naruto, as Jiraiya gulped, wondering if it was so great of an idea to tell Naruto now. But right now, he has to tell it either way. As he saw, well, they had many, you can say, so much talent in a single clan. As a matter of fact, they made their own village, Uzushiogakure, from the Whirlpool village, as they specialized in seals, as well as some of them had a Kikigenkai. As Naruto raised an eyebrow, a Kikigenkai, as Jiraiya simply nodded at that. Those were special chakra chains, Naruto. Those chakra chains could actually, you can say, came from the hand or from the back of an Uzumaki your mother had it. Well, not all the Uzumakis have these chakra chains, but still some of the Uzumakis could get it through special training, but still there are only, or rather few, in the whole Uzumakis. As a matter of fact, their life force is the strongest. They could live hundreds of years, as well as the chakra reserves are massive. For example, a Chunin from an Uzumaki has almost equal chakra to elite Kage as Natsu's eyes widened. So that was the reason his chakra reserves were so much. And hell, he always thought that it was because he had the QB when he got the information that how he is the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, as Naruto was taking in all ceilings, though he had already had the plans how to, you can say, how he's going to learn the sales. This definitely confirms it even further. And after that, this chakra change does interest him, but according to Jiraiya, it may be a considered Kekigen guy, but still only few from the Uzumakis could get it, and since he is a half Uzumaki, though his mother still had it, there are less chances that he's going to get the chance, as he was really surprised that Kushina was actually the second Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, as his mother was also a Jinchuriki. At that moment, Naruto stopped cursing the, you can say, the tail beast and all, knowing that his mother had the same burden, so he will carry it just like her and will not curse being a Jinchuriki or anything like that. As he simply nodded at that, though inwardly he was pretty happy, but still pretty angry that no one previously told him. Though right now he understands after reading so much books, or rather, you can say, so many books simply put into his mind through force, as he now understands that how many enemies Kushina Uzumaki that had that after hearing about her bingo book previous status at how you can say dangerous of a Kunoichi she actually was fighting off against all the seven deadly swordsmen of the mist at the same time and winning off, or rather though coming off alive most likely, but still, as she was not on defensive, as she was able to go toe to toe with all seven of them at the same time. Being the Jinchuriki, she was definitely awesome. At the moment, he really wants to know about his father as well, but still, he is a bit far away from that, though he started to get a bit of idea. But still, he do not want to force the idea. Looking towards Kushina, she had blue eyes, though he do not think that his eyes came from her, because those were dark blue as well as red hair definitely not come from, but his face definitely come from Kushina. So yeah, and flashback finally ends, and after that day Naruto gave Jiraiya a guilt trip, and Jiraiya had to teach him even further, and he even started to learn about seals, as Naruto smirked at that, and then suddenly wind chains started to burst from the back of Naruto rushing towards Jiraiya. As Jiraiya's eyes widened, he tried to use the substitution jutsu, and he was able to do so, but then suddenly all around, you can say, ground pierced through open as Jiraiya was wrapped into the wind change itself, though Jiraiya could barely see the distortion in the, you can say, air. As Naruto smirked at that, as Jiraiya looked towards him, but how? As Naruto smirked, when you told me that how my clan has the Uzumaki chains, though I tried to replicate them, but it seemed that I did not got the special chakra, so I was able to, you can say, make a substitution for that. These are wind chains, my own creation, Jiraiya Sensei. Hope you like it. After all, you're the first one I have experimented on, and that is also a plus point. As Jiraiya gulped at that, all the chains started to get, you can say, get a pierce sharp endings as Jiraiya gulped at that, as it could also pierce as well as cut off and many other things, Jiraiya Sensei. Hope you like it. As Jiraiya gulped at that, well, Naruto, that is really impressive. Maybe we should eat. Now, unhand me. As Naruto simply laughed. Well, don't worry. Here, I'll unhand you, as Jiraiya was, you can say, lifted into the air. As Naruto, what are you doing, Naruto? As Naruto said, well, this is for ditching me all of this time. As Jiraiya gulped, as Naruto threw Jiraiya into the, you can say, hot springs. As Jiraiya landed inside of the hot spring, as the screams could be heard, and a painful scream of Jiraiya could be heard. As Naruto said, that definitely will teach him a lesson. Well, I have to learn some other jutsus, as he went off to create his own other jutsus. At the moment when he started to connect with the nature, as wind element came so natural to him, as Naruto get the idea that wind could be considered the strongest element there is. Wind can, you can say, destroy the water, since it can make it into ice, destroying any control of a water user over the ice. Though a person with a Kekkei Genkai of ice would have, you can say, given Naruto a trouble, but since Haku was the last member of the Yuki clan, Naruto had no worries about it. After that, it could destroy all the fire as well as thunder. It could counter. Only the problem was, you can say, earth, but still, Naruto has some idea how to deal with the earth as well. So that is that. As he simply nodded at that and started to perfect even more jutsus, as he had a smirk on his face, already experimenting on one of the jutsus which he heard from Jiraiya, though he had to see the jutsu with his own eyes so that he can replicate it, or even further, you can say, improve it even beyond the limits of that original jutsu. As Jiraiya finally came back after some time, bruise and all, as Naruto simply laughed at the expense of Jiraiya, as Jiraiya was saying something about mumbling about something ungrateful brats or something like that, as Naruto finally completed 10 of his own creations in the wind style jutsus, as Jiraiya was, you can say, the first person who got the end of the attack of all the jutsus when Naruto created it. As Jiraiya swore that never to tell Naruto to create any jutsu because Naruto always tested on him. As Jiraiya was beyond surprised as Naruto create 5 A rank jutsu as well as 3 B rank jutsu and 1 S rank jutsu with a wind style, and at the moment Naruto was standing in front of Jiraiya folding his hand looking towards Jiraiya intently as Jiraiya sighed at that. It has been 3 months and Naruto has created these jutsus and he was so, you can say, focused on them, and now his control over the element of wind has improved so much. Naruto is not forcing his chakra to develop into wind. No, he was connecting it with the nature, with the wind itself, commanding the wind all over the place. Not, you can say, forcing the control, but becoming one with the wind element itself. As Jiraiya was beyond surprised, wondering if he could do with the, you can say, sage mode or not, or if Naruto is ready to become a sage, or if he is going to surpass him. As Jiraiya was sure that this was no Kikigenkai, no, it was definite control, as if becoming one with the wind itself. A perfect sage of wind. As Jiraiya thought about it, wondering if he should offer Naruto to become a sage. It has been some time, and 1.5 years has already passed as Naruto. As Jiraiya dares say that at the moment Naruto is as strong as Naruto should have been after the end of his previous training session which he made for Naruto to grow strong, and even without the Kyuubi's chakra, Naruto's power has created. Though Jiraiya was still worried that if Naruto were to lose Kyuubi's control, as but still he simply shook his head as he said, "Alright Naruto, as promised, you have completed 10 of your jutsus, and though I would have waited for some time, but it seemed that there's no delaying it now, huh? Kid, as Naruto simply nodded at that. Yeah, Jiraiya sensei, it's about time that you tell me about my father. Jiraiya sighed at that. Alright, kid, just sit down. First of all, I would like to ask you, do you have any idea who your father could be? As Naruto looked towards Jiraiya, as Jiraiya said, according to that look, I think that you have some idea. So tell me about it, Naruto. As Naruto said, well, according to me, there are no so many, you can say, candidates to begin with. First of all, I have blue eyes and blonde hair, and there are not so many, you can say, people in Konoha who have such hair and eyes. Only clan who has blonde hair are the Yamanaka's clan. As only Yamanaka clan has blonde hair and somewhat blue eyes as well, but still, if I were the part of the main clan of the, you can say, Konoha, I would have Yamanaka name, and there would be a clan to protect me, which means that they are not my family. And on top of it, it could be civilian, though I highly doubt it that someone as strong of a Konoichi such as the Red Death would be with a civilian, though it only leaves with one possibility, and which is pretty strong. As Naruto narrowed his eyes towards Jiraiya, as Jiraiya was sweating, regretting his decision, but well, who can change the words now? As he said, that could be Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, the student of the famous Sani Jiraiya, right? As Jiraiya sighed at that, as he said, well, that is right, Naruto. Your father is Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage. The moment, you can say, those words left Jiraiya's mouth, killing intent spread across all the area as Jiraiya's eyes widened, as Naruto's eyes changed into the slit of a Kyuubi, as he said, that damn bastard seal the Kyuubi into his own son, making his life a living hell. How could he? As now Naruto was getting angrier. He could not believe it. He had suspicions when he started to learn about all of these things, about the history of Konoha and all that, thanks to his shadow clones and so much, you can say, tutelage from Jiraiya, and after learning some sealings and all, as but still he did not want you to believe it. How could the fourth Hokage seal the Kyuubi into his only son? No, it was not possible. He was a hero in Naruto's eyes, though he still made his life a living hell, but still the sacrifice was worth it. As now he was getting angrier as Jiraiya sighed, as Naruto was really getting angrier now, as the killing intent increased as Jiraiya put out a small paper into from his back and with an incredible speed worthy of a cage as he put the paper into the head of, you can say, Naruto, as the Kyuubi chakra was already surrounding him, as the Kyuubi chakra completely evaporated, as Naruto got a bit exhausted, but still he was not knocked out as he slapped the hand of Jiraiya away. I'm fine. As Jiraiya sighed, as he started to explain, as he said, Naruto, I have already told you, Minato never wanted it. I knew him. He was like a son to me. And I lost him at that day. But still, you have to understand, he was a Hokage. He had to make a choice. At the moment, Kyuubi could have destroyed the village and even killed you. Then what will happen then? I know that you are angry at your father for sealing the night ale into you. But do tell, who could he have sealed it into? Your mother, who was already dying, or only leaving Uzumaki? And that was you, Naruto. And you once said that Fourth was your hero because he defeated the Kyuubi and made a sacrifice of his life. Now do tell Naruto how much of a hero he is now, and do tell how much of hurt he would have get when he sealed the Kyuubi into his own son. As Naruto, he was a true hero, though you could say that your life was not that easy, but still. Look at Gaara, his life was even worse. As Naruto was now getting a bit calm, though he was angry that his father was the one who sealed the Kyuubi into him, making his life pretty angry. But from the other point of view, he was right. Kyuubi would have destroyed the village, including killing him, as well as all the people. He was the only one who could have hold back the Kyuubi chakra, being an Uzumaki and all. And at this point, he already know about all the Uzumakis and their specialties. So he started to learn about Kinjutsu as well, and even started to train in it. Though Jiraiya was not a master, but still he had basic knowledge. So he started to train Naruto on that as well, as Naruto sighed at that. But then, you can say, Naruto narrowed his eyes toward Jiraiya. Alright, Jiraiya sensei, do tell me if my father was Minato Namikaze, and according to the books you let me read, according to which he was one of the richest men in Konoha. And now Jiraiya gulped at that. And do tell, the princess of, you can say, Whirlpool village, Kushina Uzumaki, related to the Daniel and all the money they actually had. Where did that money went to, Jiraiya sensei? As Naruto, you can say, put a hand into his other as he started to crack his knuckles. As Jiraiya now was sweating, as he said, my father was literally one of the richest men, could be considered a noble in Fire Country, as well as my mother being a princess and all the wealth of the Whirlpool village belonging to her, and now me, kicked out from the orphanage at the age of 4, and after that had to live on the allowance from the orphanage, which was almost cut to half and almost double charged, and from the same shops which were owned by my father to begin with. Those were the shops which were overcharging me to begin with, Jiraiya sensei. Now do tell, where did that money go to? As now Jiraiya gulped, well, that could be, as Naruto said, I did not hear you. As Naruto's eyes went to slit for a moment, as Jiraiya got, well, Naruto, the civilian council, as Naruto screamed, damn civilian council, I will have their heads when I went back to home. As Jiraiya, you can say, now was sweating. It was right when he also told Tobi Sensei about Naruto's heritage as well as the money, all the, you can say, property which Naruto had. As you can say, Satobi told Jiraiya that right now they cannot give it to Naruto and is keeping it safe, but he also told him that since he cannot keep it away from the civilian council because that lies under the civilian affairs, so they were using the property of Minato as well as Kushina, though their bank balance would not have that much different, but still they are definitely using it and keeping it away. As Naruto relaxed after some time, at the end of this training, Jiraiya Sensei, when I go back, I'll be taking the seat of the Namikaze as well as the Uzumaki clan in the council. I would like to give them some hell, as Naruto graded his state at that. As Jiraiya sighed, well, of course, Naruto, you will be more than strong enough at that point. Right now, we have some other things to deal with. Here's the book you asked me. As Naruto got the book, as Naruto opened it, as Naruto smirked at that, as Jiraiya said, 7th level of a sealing master. I'm an 8th level seal master, Naruto. You have been able to caught up to me only in 1.5 years. Truly impressive and worthy that of an Uzumaki. As Naruto nodded at that, as he looked to Jiraiya, Jiraiya sensei, I wanted to ask you about a jutsu which my father used. You already know about it, right? As Jiraiya simply nodded at that. Well, Naruto, if you want to use that jutsu, you have to be at least a seal master of my caliber. Though, I think that at the last year, I will start training you on that. And if I were to be correct, you can master it in some time, though it will come with a real life experience. As not to simply not it at that, don't worry, Jiraiya sensei. In few months, I will be able to match you in the Funcjutsu. As Jiraiya laughed, well, kid, you're still far from my level. The great toad, Sonin of the Mount Miyaboku, as a toad was summoned, as Jiraiya was doing his, you can say, stand. As Naruto laughed at that, we shall see about it, Jiraiya sensei. As he went off to do, you can say, read this 7th level of a seal master. As Jiraiya looked towards Naruto with a proud smile on his face, but at the back of his head he was sweating. He is definitely going to send a message to Tsunade to preserve, you can say, the council member, because Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto is coming from them, for them. As he sighed at that. Now, let us cut back to Sasuke and Sakura, as Sakura was in a, you can say, lab, as Orochimaru was standing in front of her, Kukuku, as he said, well, this kid, well, I cannot kill her, though I could use her so that Sasuke could awaken his Mangekyo Sharingan. But at the moment, she's a good puppy, so I can use her on my experiments. As he started to laugh at that. At this point, he has done so much experiments on Sakura, as she has become pretty proficient at the, you can say, art style jutsu, and also pick up a, you can say, a katana, though she is nowhere near the level of Sasuke. As for Sasuke, he started to become a lot stronger than, you can say, Sakura or anyone has. But though Naruto is definitely going to break his bones when they are going to encounter. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. As now, let us cut back to Naruto. As Naruto was reading the book at a, you can say, alarming rate, as Jiraiya was truly impressed with this kid. He's definitely got some talent. As Jiraiya was now at the moment was taking the tales of Naruto, as Naruto, after 1 month, as Jiraiya was looking towards Naruto, as Naruto has finally developed the last part of the seal, as Jiraiya looked towards the seal in utter shock. In 1 month, Naruto became a seal master from a 6th level to a 7th level. As Naruto looked towards Jiraiya, so what do you think about it, Jiraiya sensei? My own design, did you like it? As Jiraiya was looking toward the seal in utter awe, as this was definitely a work of art itself, as this seal was pretty amazing. As Jiraiya said, the seal can contain demons, Naruto. You know about it? The seal can easily contain a demon of at least 8 tails, though the 9 tails would still not be, you can say, able to contain in the seal. As Naruto said, well, I developed this seal especially for my old friend. As Jiraiya raised an eyebrow, and what do you mean by that? As Naruto said, I've developed it for Gaara. As you can say, Jiraiya's eyes widened, the Kage, As Naruto looked towards Jiraiya, Kazekage, what are you talking about, Jiraiya sensei? As Jiraiya said, it seems that I forgot to tell you, Naruto. Gaara has been promoted to a Kazekage, and he's the leader of Sand Village. As Naruto looked towards Jiraiya and blinked, as Jiraiya also blinked once, as Naruto blinked twice, as Jiraiya also blinked twice, and the next moment Jiraiya was slammed into a large boulder with a Rasengan into his stomach, and you did not bother to tell me now? I cannot believe it. Gaara has surpassed me so already. At this point, Naruto once again transformed into his, you can say, previous self, as he was panicking a little. As Jiraiya said, damn brat, disrespectful, definitely from Kushina, as he closes his eyes and got knocked out. Though after some time he still woke up. As he said, well, Naruto, you did not have to hit me with the Rasengan, you know. As Naruto said, you did not bother to tell me that Gaara has become a Kazekage, As Jiraiya said, well, it just slipped my mind. Don't worry about it, Naruto. It seemed that you want to go to the Sand Village, Well, for the last year, we could go to the Sand Village, as well as some other things. We could deal with that. Alright, Naruto. So, are you ready to go to the Sand Village? As Naruto simply nodded at that, as Jiraiya said, alright, let's begin our journey. As both of them started to head to the sand, as Jiraiya has already, you can say, sent a letter to Gaara, as Gaara was standing in front of his village, looking towards the Sand Village in, you can say, proud. He still is having a bit of trouble with, Shikaku, but still, he's keeping his head cool and ready for anything. Well, guys, in the next part, Naruto is going to fight a war, as well as many other things. You guys will like it, and if you like, you can say Minato's technique, he will also know it and develop some other of his own jutsus, and you will see some of the jutsus which Naruto develop. And if you have some suggestions of the jutsus, you can give me on the comment section. I will definitely consider them. So yeah guys, please like, subscribe and comment down in the comment section. For the next part, like goal is going to be 250 likes and 180 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So yeah guys, take care and peace.